interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast. The German news agency, Transocean, said today the broadcast.
Here's another late development, and this news keeps coming in as we're talking here. Here's other information just in from the Con.
All right. What's up, man?
How's it going, brother?
Not much, man. You know, just crazy week. Fucking crazy year.
Yeah, 2020 can
2020
suck
can suck
it.
a dick. Don't worry, we can say
Big
the full
old
thing now.
fat
Mark.
one.
Yeah.
Here's 2020. This
Don't share good whiskey to 2020.
111 proof, brought to you by the Chattanooga Whiskey.
Chattanooga whiskey.
Check them out. They're not a sponsor, but we love it. Support local, right?
Check back us on about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Dude, this is the first episode. Apparently, you know, future episodes won't be like this, but you know, you gotta get your swing off somewhere. You know,
Yeah.
You gotta get your starting point off somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Learn how to ramble.
And in case you guys didn't know, this is Metrotham Uncensored.
Oh yeah, I need to say that. I guess there would be like a little introduction. Yeah, this is Metrotham Uncensored with I'm just gonna go by Hodgkins on this one.
Hodgkins?
If that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. I do love my nickname on the show and everything like that, but
I'm gonna stick with a classically trained Mark.
classically trained Mark.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm Hodgkins with the classically trained Mark, and this is Metrotham Uncensored.
What?
Alright, for people who don't know, Mark, how are you involved with Metrotham?
So basically, I'm the brainchild behind it.
Brainchild. Alright.
So I'm the founder, con chair, however you want to spin it. And you know, we started this journey a few years back, and haven't stopped since. It's been a lot of fun.
I've been on it for a little bit over a year.
Yeah.
I'm still considered like the fucking newbie around most people, but you know,
We got some people that are newer than you, so
yeah. But even some of those newer people have way more experience than I do in this shit.
they may have more experience, but you have heart. Go Planet.
Go Planet, yeah. Oh, dude, Captain Planet. Jesus Christ, I haven't watched that show in almost 20 years.
Dude, it's so good.
It's so good. I watched this bridge series on it.
Did
And
you?
at one point, like Captain Planet murders this like bad dude with a gun with a tree, and they give that thing voice lines, and it's just like, "Kill me, Captain Planet."
Did you
Kill
see the
me.
Don Cheadle Captain Planet stuff? You haven't seen Don Cheadle's Captain Planet? Oh my goodness.
What's Don
dude.
Cheadle's Captain Planet?
So he basically does like spoof videos, and he's Captain Planet. It is
That's
hilarious,
awesome. That's
dude.
hilarious.
Yeah, you need to check that out on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of like abridged stuff and everything like that, especially with Dragon Ball.
Mhm.
You know, like I love Dragon Ball Z, but you know, when I'm trying to introduce adults to Dragon Ball Z, I'm just like, just watch a bridge until you get to Super.
Yoshi.
Yeah, yeah.
Abridged is good.
Do I
Who
look
did
Catholic?
Abridged? Was it Team 4-Star?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I look Catholic to you?
They're doing a lot of that now. There's a lot of like redubbings.
I mean, yeah. Team 4-Star also did a bridge series of Helsing.
Helsing.
Yeah.
Helsing's a good anime, man.
It's a good like. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but if you want to watch someone kill vampire Nazis with two pistols that are like 50 caliber pistols, yeah, it's great. It's a great.
It sounds great to
violent
me.
show. Yeah, I just love the intro to that when the people are acting like Edward and fucking whatever the fuck her name was in that terrible series of books and movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Twilight.
Oh, fuck me.
Well, it's Stephanie Meyer.
Stephanie Meyer.
Is who
You know,
wrote
she
the
like
books.
came out and like said that she's regretted like making Twilight, and that it was pretty much like a midlife crisis for her.
Yeah. Yeah. So the books weren't bad though. They weren't as
They
bad as
were.
the movies. Like,
Dude, full disclosure, only reason why I ever picked up a Twilight book was I was trying to go out with this chick in my 10th grade literature class, and she was all about Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
And I read a lot of books, man. Like, that's... Dude, I was a nerd in high school. I had no game. To tell you anything, I was trying to read Twilight to hook up with the chick. That's how weak my game was. But,
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Oh, yeah, but it didn't even work. That's the bad part.
Shit.
Then I just read a bad book for nothing, you know? So... But, yeah. But I read it in a week. And then I was like, everybody was wanting to talk to me about it. It's like, I used to talk about like classic poems and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
People thought I was trying to be romantic. It's just like, no, I have a literature grandmother who that's all I ever got instilled to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what Harry Potter was until I moved to Ringgold.
Yeah, dude, I used to read all the time too. And like the Dark Tower series. I used to work at Books A Million part-time in the Joe Muggs Cafe. And dude, I went crazy with all the books.
You probably saw me a couple times then, as a child.
Like I had all the Harry Potter books. I read all those. I read the Dark Tower series. Anything Stephen King, I read. I
haven't read that much Stephen King, but I'm a huge Stephen King dude. Like,
yeah,
I read it. Like, I read him a lot as a kid. Like, I read a lot of his short stories. I don't even remember the collections because that's just like what my mom would have around the house and stuff. But, like, my favorite as a kid was, like, the short story collection and the one with Stand By Me in it. Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember any of the others, but I just remember loving Stand By Me.
Stand By Me was such a good movie, too.
Yeah, dude. It was, like, one of the rare examples where you love the movie just as much as the short story.
Yeah.
Stephen King has a lot of those, but Stephen King also has a lot of bad fucking movies. Like the new Dark Tower movie, for instance.
So
I never even saw that movie. I just heard it was dog shit.
You would think it would be good because the actors they had in it, right?
They had Matthew McConaughey
and Idris, right?
Idris Elba.
That's just those two alone. Like
even the kid in the movie wasn't a chump. Like he had been in other shit before.
Yeah,
like
I'm not gonna lie. The Dark Tower movie, I've heard so many bad things about it. I've never watched it.
I've never watched it either.
Never watched it,
dude. I don't watch movies.
Let's watch it.
I don't watch movies
and do a review
unless I've heard one good thing about it. You know. And I've heard nothing but criticism about that.
So you don't like Justice League or Batman vs Superman?
oh, okay. You're just being funny right now. Yeah, I hate those fucking movies, Mark.
Those aren't your favorite?
No, by no means.
But you are excited for the Snyder Cut, right? The trailer, admit it. It was fucking good. It was good.
It was good, but dude, you know, do I have to applaud a movie company that spent billions and billions of dollars on Justice League to just come out for that to be a bad movie? Then it's just like, oh wait, here comes the Snyder Cut.
They didn't spend billions, to their defense.
That's just me being. I need to be more logistic, I guess.
And it actually, the movie turned a profit, right? It wasn't a financial flop.
It turned a profit because everybody wanted to see it,
right? But the movie that's
the thing I hate about some of like my fellow fans of like superhero movies and stuff. They'll go see a movie even if they know it's dog shit.
Well, Joss Whedon ruined the movie, man. Like all the reshoots, only 25% of Zack Snyder's movie was actual in the theatrical cut.
I only watched 20 minutes of Justice League.
That's all you needed to watch.
Yeah. I literally watched when he tried to recruit Aquaman. I was just like, I'm done with this fucking movie.
Oh, man.
And I watched it like 2 years after it came out because, dude, you don't understand. When Batman v Superman was coming out, I was all about that fucking movie.
Yeah.
I was like, this movie looks so cool. This movie looks so inventive. I was like, they've literally been trying to make this movie since my parents were teenagers.
Yeah.
They've been trying to make this movie for such a long time. And within the first 20 minutes, dude, I was just crying tears of just pure fucking hatred for this movie.
And I get it. It wasn't the greatest, but
I think Kevin Smith put it best when he was talking about Batman v Superman. He felt like the movie just like lacked a soul to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Ultimate Edition was so much better.
Don't know.
So the Ultimate Edition added, I think it was like an additional 30-45 minutes to the movie.
The thing that pissed me off the most about DC is they had they dropped Batman v Superman, and that was so bad. Mm-hmm. And then they had the audacity a month later to come out with Suicide Squad.
So Suicide Squad again was a victim of the lighter touch from DC. Like they wanted to lighten everything up because of what happened to Batman v Superman. So that they reshot a lot of those films, Justice League, Suicide Squad, to make them more campy, more like the Marvel movies. But that doesn't work in the DC universe. Like, Zack Snyder had the right idea for it. Like, it needed to be dark and gritty. That's DC, right?
Yeah, DC is dark and gritty, and Marvel most of the time is more optimistic.
People just shit on it too quick before he can get his entire vision out. And that's what we're seeing with the Snyder cut. They're like, oh damn, maybe it wasn't that bad.
That's why like DC is like pretty much the DCU, like anything involving DC live action movies is pretty much. Even though I gotta revert that because the Joker was my favorite movie of 2019, which a lot of people give me criticism for. I don't care. I thought that movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
And but the thing that pisses me off the most about these movies is they're trying to catch up with the Marvel, but they're showing no respect to what Marvel did to get to where they are right now.
Yeah, you can't just jump to the team ups.
You have to lay down groundwork.
You got to do the individual movies first.
Yeah, the reason why people gave a shit about Avengers because we had like what 4 or 5 years.
They were invested of solo movies, right?
Yeah, and building up to the Avengers.
They had DC with Man of Steel had the best start. Oh my goodness, that dude!
Man of Steel was so good. It was so good.
I kid you not. I probably watched that movie 10 times in the past month. It's moved into my top 5 movies of all time. Even I love that movie so much. I do, and you may think I'm crazy. A lot of people would think I'm crazy.
It's the best Superman movie.
By far the best Superman movie. I love the look. I love the extra visuals you get at
Henry
Krypton.
Cavill knocks it out of the fucking park.
Henry Cavill's fucking fantastic, man.
Yeah.
And then to see him have to, and spoilers, it's been out long enough. There's no spoilers here. But
yeah, we're just going to be talking about shit. Yeah. So if you hear us talking about a subject, it's like, oh, I haven't watched that, you might want to fast forward a couple minutes.
But to see the dynamic at the end where Zod's like, either you kill me or your pets that you love, these humans, they're going to die. And he has to snap his neck. And then he screams like, "Oh my god! I just had to kill somebody." Yeah, that was really good.
I mean, and even in the shot they chose to do that in, because they did that like brilliant move where people like the only 2 times I've seen it is in Man of Steel and in Harry Potter, The Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, Order of the Phoenix is the one where Sirius dies. But yeah, like when Sirius dies and when Superman when they do that, and then when Cyrus dies in Harry Potter, when they scream, it's kind of like all noise fades off, and you don't even hear what's going on. Right. I think both directors' voices. I think that both their reasons for doing that were the exact same. It was so visceral that we thought it would be like too. They thought it would like fuck with the speakers and shit.
Right. And imagine Superman screaming too, right? Super lungs.
Yeah.
He would blow everybody's eardrums out. But that's one thing when you think of Superman, he's this bright, colorful hero that does no wrong. He's the complete opposite of Batman. Batman will do whatever it takes, and he works in the shadows. He's dark and gritty. Superman is the complete opposite. And then to show that side to where like he had to make this decision and choose the humans or
his own kind,
killing Zod, his own kind.
Yeah,
man, that was a powerful statement, and that was such a good start to the DCEU. Yeah, I wish Zack Snyder could have finished his vision.
What they should have. You know what they should have done, like in my opinion, if Justin was in charge of DC, right? You come out of Man of Steel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your objective is to get the Justice League, correct?
You gotta have a solo Batman.
Yeah, but this is what I would do. Kind of like how in the Marvel universe, the Captain America movie was the one right before the first Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I would do that with Batman for Justice League.
Yeah,
I would have Batman be the 4th movie, and that's kind of like what's bringing in like Justice League and everything like that. Kind of at the end. First movie, Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Second movie, I would make Wonder Woman. Especially a well-written Wonder Woman. The first Wonder Woman was pretty good until about the last 20 minutes.
Right.
For me.
And most fans, critically, like Wonder Woman's one of the best DC movies that's ever been made, right?
Yeah, and it's still not a I mean, it's not fantastic.
Yeah.
It's watchable. It's enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't hold up to anything that the MCU has put out, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I get that. Me and you, we've talked. I'm not a huge fan of the MCU for the simple fact of I feel like some characters weren't depicted the way that I feel like they should have been.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the characters?
And it was a smart move. Don't get me wrong, because it made them billions and billions and billions of dollars. Because it appealed to the masses, right, and not just the comic book people.
Yeah.
So they had to make the characters more lighthearted, more comical, lighter in tone. Because there's some dark MCU characters too, and they could have chose to go that route.
Yeah, and
Thor is the first one that pops to mind. Like Thor's depiction,
making Thor when he first shows up in the MCU an actual god instead of someone who is bestowed the power of Thor or something.
Yeah, and then he as it kind of goes along.
Not that into Thor, so I don't really know about his comic origin.
Yeah, it's basically what you just said.
Yeah.
But as it goes along in the MCU, Thor becomes a mockery, right? Like he's comedic relief. He's like a Star-Lord for the Avengers, right? He's comedic relief. And to me, that's disrespectful to one of the most powerful characters in all of the MCU.
I think they did fix that at the end game. I think Thor at the end of the end game, like it's finally like setting him off straight to be the character he needs to be.
Yeah,
a lot of people hated Fat Thor.
Fat Thor's terrible, and now he's going to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're going to make him comedy, man. That's all. That's not Thor. That's not the Thor I want to see. Give me some the Norse mythology Thor, the legit,
Well, they're keeping Chris on for a reason. They're
Yeah.
paying him more money for a reason. So
Well,
I think Thor's about to change, go through a major character because which one's first, Love and Thunder or Guardians 3?
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Love and Thunder, I think.
This one ain't a Jamie.
Yeah. But my favorite Thor movie is Dark World, and that's the one that people shit on, right?
I actually watched that, and it wasn't that bad of a movie. Like
it's
at
a
all.
good movie. It's dark. It's
Yeah,
dark
it's
for
better
MCU.
it's better than the first Thor movie.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Way better. And I think it really developed his character and really posed a threat to him. You know what I mean?
I have a very unpopular opinion when it comes to the MCU movies because my favorite MCU movie is Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier's a good movie.
Yeah, but it's my favorite.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah,
Yeah, Winter
it's just
Soldier's
so great.
Yeah, that one, and the reason it's so great, I feel like, is it wasn't campy, right? It wasn't. It was action packed, had fantastic storytelling all throughout. It was darker.
It was like I was watching a James Bond movie, but
Right.
in a superhero universe.
Yeah, it kind of deviated from the other things that they.
That's
were
what
doing.
I really liked about it. That I would probably say my second favorite is Guardians, just because Guardians is.
But Guardians is
amazing.
supposed to be funny,
Yeah.
right? It's supposed to be campy. That's what makes it great, and those are great.
The soundtrack to Guardians is probably my favorite soundtrack of all time. All time.
All the music in Guardians is great, man.
Just like,
straight '80s classics.
Ooga chaka, ooga ooga. Dude, I nearly shit myself when that started playing in the theater. I was like, no fucking way.
All right, so we're talking all kinds of like nerdy stuff and what we love and what we hate. Let me ask you a question. We'll get back to like the convention stuff.
Yeah, what's up?
What was your introduction to Metrotham Con?
The day before our first year.
Nice. So my memory of that is Dustin and Brian are like, hey, we got this guy Hodgkins. Like, cool, Hodgkins, yeah, he's gonna help. And you show up, this is Hodgkins, what do you need me to do?
Yeah.
And what did we give you to do?
It's just like, hey, do you know Larry Houston and Mark Edens? And I was just like, their names are kind of familiar. It's just like I remember like reading them somewhere. I can't remember where. And they're like, oh, Mark Edens is the writer of the original X-Men cartoon, and Larry Houston was the artist and producer. Yeah.
Line producer. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, cool. And they're like, yeah. They're like, they pretty much either animated or helped animate or helped write all of your childhood.
Every bit of it.
And I was just like, yo, I thought I was just gonna be moving heavy shit around all weekend. I gotta like
You thought you were doing manual labor.
Yeah. I just gotta like, jester around for celebrities. Like,
Yeah.
this wasn't part of the fucking deal. But no, that's not what I said out loud. Y'all told me
that's
that.
what you were thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But y'all looked at me and said, "You cool with that?" And I was just like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
I'm inside my head, and I'm just like, "You fucking moron."
But that's part of like one of the unique experiences you can have like doing this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Dude, Mark Eaton's, Larry Houston, wonderful fucking people.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Dude, all of our guests for episode 1 were fantastic, right?
I didn't have a bad experience with any of our guests. I know some people had some negative things to say about some of our guests, but I was just like, yeah. It's like, well, they're human beings too,
Everybody was chill to me.
Yeah.
Some people were all about business, some people wanted to have fun, and that's what it's all about, right? So you got thrown to the wolves. That was your first experience. Day of convention. Celebrity handler, Justin Hodgkins, do your thing.
Yeah.
And then from there, man, you rocked it out that weekend, and you've just been like a superstar for us ever since, right?
Yeah, like I remember, like during the weekend, I kind of became Larry Houston's wife's chauffeur, which I was just like, I barely trust myself in a vehicle. It's just like, this is the weirdest thing. It's like, I'm literally driving us around like a celebrity's wife.
Yeah. Around
Chattanooga, just like making up shit as we pass it. It's just like, yeah, that building's like 50 years old, something like that.
And so one of our guests, you were kind of a little starstruck by.
Oh yeah,
Jason Douglas.
Jason Douglas is my favorite voice actor. To this date.
And you got to know him a little bit. Over the weekend, and you had a special run-in with him, right?
Well, I mean, what happened at the thing is like I walked by him. First off, I couldn't believe how tall that dude is. That dude dwarfs,
he's like 6'5".
That dude, like, it almost feels like he dwarfs me, and I'm 6'3".
Yeah, he's 6'5", I believe is what he said.
Yeah. But I walked up to him like, God damn. And I was just like, hey, man, I'm working with the con. Can I have 5 minutes of your time?
Yeah.
And like, I think he thought I was like trying to pitch something to him or something, because I kind of just saw that look in his eye, just like, oh, yeah. He's just like, dude, I just want to let you know you're my favorite voice actor. I've literally watched everything you've been in, not because I'm that kind of a fan, because you do really good shit.
Yeah.
And then I started talking about I was working on Breaking Bad and Sin City. I was like, dude, I think you're the fucking shit. And I looked at him, and full disclosure, one time he goes like, you remember voicing for Film Z, right? And he's like, yeah, Aokiji. And I was just like, my man.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I was like, well, me and my roommate at the time, we got super baked one time. And we decided to watch that movie for the first time. And in that song, Aokiji sings like this farewell arms song to Navy men that they sing at like Navy funerals and everything. And when Aokiji sung, and when Jason Douglas sang the song, me and my stone roommate got so moved we actually cried a little bit.
Wow.
And I was just like, yeah, dude, that's why I love you and you're the shit. And he goes like, thanks, man. You want like a picture or something? I was just like, yeah.
Yes, I do.
So like, I got a picture of him. He asked me if we want to do a pose, and I was just like, Virus is on the thing, so do the death destruction sign, and he just fucking did it.
Oh shit!
I didn't have to be like, yeah, it's like this. He was just like, nah, I got this shit. Yeah,
he knows this shit.
Yeah,
but
and then what you're talking about is I went to promote for Metrotham at another convention at Magic City last year. Yeah, it's been over a year, right?
Yeah, it's been a little over a year.
And Jason Douglas is one of the guests at that con too. And, at one point, like, I'm riding down an escalator, Jason is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm just like sitting there and I see him, and I don't think anything of it. I'm like, he's really busy. I don't want to be that fucking guy at a convention, so I'm just like looking straight. And like, I hear him calling out to somebody. Well, I don't hear him. I hear somebody calling out to someone. I look over and it's him. And he's like, you. He's just like, Justin, right? And he called me out by name at this convention, coming up a conveyor belt. Part of me still thinks you guys set that up. But
once again, another perk of volunteering for Metrotham Con.
we'll totally hire your favorite voice actors, call you out in public. But yeah, so like, you know, I get up, we're like riding up, he goes like, dude, it's good to see you. I'm like, it's good to see you too, dude. And like he was like, hey man, you gonna come by my table at all this weekend? He's like, dude, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And he was like, you fucking better be. And you know, the friendly neighborhood Dustin man was with me because we were both going to grab lunch. And you know, I'm like, cool. And then like we walk away, and as soon as we're out of eyesight of everything, of everybody that just watched everything go on, I just like leaned against the pillar. I was like, dude, you knew my fucking name. That's unreal. That's unreal
dope
to me.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, Jason Douglas he's a voice actor. He's voiced a ton of characters.
Voiced Aokiji in One Piece. He voiced Beerus in Dragon Ball Super. He also voiced King Cole back in the day in Dragon Ball Z. He voiced the Butler from Black Butler.
Yeah, Claude.
He voiced I can't remember the character's name in Attack on Titan because he's literally in an episode because he gets chomped.
Yeah.
And he's the other is Fallen in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
And he's also worked in movies like as an actor in Sin City.
Jack Reacher. He was on The Walking Dead for like 5 seasons as Tobin.
Walking Dead. He was also in a movie that him and Weiss did together. I can never remember what that movie was called though. Him and Weiss did it together.
Ian St. Clair, you talking about?
Something like that, maybe.
Well, that's Weiss. That's the guy that does Weiss.
You know, and he's in probably one of my favorite shows of like the 2000s was the 2000 teens was Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Like
he had like I think he was in 2 episodes, but yeah, he's still on one of the best TV shows to ever appear on public television.
There's a fucking bug flying in here.
Yeah. Tennessee, Wonderful Life of Tennessee, right? That's why I love the winter.
So that's a cool experience, man.
Yeah.
Have you? So I know that you've done a lot of stuff for us and gotten to go to places and meet people and have conversations and do the live stream and all that stuff. Could you maybe speak to some other experiences that you've had, like over the course of the year that you've had with us?
I mean, you know, mostly it's just like, you know, what we do, like, you know, promoting at movie theaters when those are still open.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and that's like pretty much like all that I was doing was promoting. I worked in a couple parades.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pretty much just like whenever someone would text me.
You're a Pikachu, right?
Dude, that was
in one parade.
That was so awkward.
You're the tallest Pikachu on the planet.
Dude. And also like, so like the eyes are down here, right?
Yeah.
So like I can't see shit. And I'm on a moving trailer. So the entire time people think I'm dancing. No, I'm trying to keep from busting my ass and just rolling off the back of this trailer real quick.
You do have to sign a waiver before you join the Metrotham Con family.
I didn't sign any waivers.
You got to sign a waiver. If any, you know, bodily harm may come to you, you can't sue me. Because you get put in some dangerous situations sometimes, and I'm sure that was one of them.
Dude, it's the thing. Like, if you gave me time to prepare, I'd be cool with it. But literally, Kat came up to me and was like, "Hey, you're Pikachu," and I was just like, "Fucking what?" Dude, I was like, "Dude, have you seen that thing?" Pika. I was like, "That thing's meant for a child."
Yeah. I'm
6'3". It's like I'm gonna be horrifying children. I'm gonna have the body of Pikachu but the legs of a man.
That's why I've never wore the costumes, because I'm just too tall for them and too broad, too big for them.
Oh, you're too tall for him.
Well, yeah, I know you're too tall. So like, Charmander, I've tried them, right, to see, but like,
oh, Charmander's fucking
it's
miserable.
like high waters, man. The bottoms of their feet come halfway up my calves, and you
also,
see my legs. And
yeah. Also, I hate I like them, but I only feel good about people being in them when it's like the fall and winter months. Like when we're doing like summer convention, it's like, yeah, dude, I totally put on a Charmander thing. It's like, dude, if you start hyperventilating, I don't know CPR. All right.
Again, you must sign a waiver. No, you don't. We won't put you at risk. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do a lot of stuff, you know, throughout the year. Obviously, you know, COVID and 2020 has put a fucking damper on that.
Jesus Christ.
But you know, it's a fun experience. It's unique. You get to meet a lot of cool people, and you get to interact with a lot of potential attendees too, right? It's cool meeting people. And even if you have, you know, and I know we've talked, you've got some social anxiety issues to where it's tough, you know, to talk to people, but I feel like this has really helped you spread your wings and blossom, you know, as far as your communication skills, and especially doing the live show too.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's one of the main reasons, like, it didn't take a lot of convincing to start me doing the show, because, you know, for like a month and a half there before the show started, I was pretty much here every week.
Yeah.
I was filming. I was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was giving Brian and Dustin shit about their shitty list. Who puts Dots on a fucking Halloween candy list, man?
Dots is the fucking worst candy.
Dude, what the fuck?
All that's good for is like ripping your fillings out of your teeth. That shit's so chewy. Dots are terrible.
It's just like,
I feel like they didn't have Reese cups on there.
They didn't.
I'm like, what?
They didn't have Snickers?
Snickers? None of Milky Way? None of that shit.
Oh no, dude! Brian, all my friends hate Milky Way. I'm the fucking freak.
I love Milky Way.
Because I go to the gas station and pick up those king-size Milky Way.
Hell
sometimes.
Yeah! And the Three Musketeers. I love Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers I have to be in a mood for. I have to be kind of a bougie mood for Three Musketeers.
It's that Three Musketeers is like the classy Milky Way, right?
That's just like, that's what you get when you're on a date and shit, to try to impress your chick.
I've got some Dove chocolate here, baby. But the one thing I'm trying to say is, you know, it's really kind of, I've seen you blossom, you know, kind of over from the time that I met you until now. You know, you're like this social butterfly. And
don't get it twisted. I'm still just as nervous as day one, let me tell you.
But I feel like you've been able to overcome that, right? And that's, you know, that's why this is such a good transition for you to go to the podcast. And if you guys didn't already know, Justin Hodgkins will be moderating all the Metrotham Uncensored episodes, you know, on the podcast.
There might be some episodes that I don't do, but I'll definitely be behind it.
Yeah,
in the future.
And you know, this is kind of his thing. You know,
this is gonna be my love child.
It's completely uncensored too, right?
Yeah.
So we can say fuck, and it's okay.
I mean, we not only that, but we can even like go on we don't have to, because we've talked a lot about it already.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not afraid to talk to people about their religious beliefs.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to talk to people about their political beliefs.
So nothing's off limits. It's no holds barred. And kind of our.
But if you ask me for my opinion, I will give it to you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why we kind of decided to do this. So if like someone does get offended on our show when they ask me my opinion and I give it to them, they can kind of be like, dude, we told you how this guy was anyway.
Yeah.
That's why we like him. He's brutally honest, even when he doesn't need to be.
And I think that's why this is such a good transition for you from to the live stream to this.
Especially it's when times I had to talk good about stuff I didn't like.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, I'm still in trouble for just how much shit I gave that Scoob movie.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest.
It's a bad movie. It's bad all the way around.
It's okay.
You want to know how I can prove it too? I haven't told anyone this. You're the first person I told. So
you hear it first, guys.
So two of my cousins are in town, right? Granted, one's 16, one's 12.
Yeah.
So they're not young kids, but they're kids, right?
They shit on it.
We were watching that movie because they grew up like me. They grew up on like the 50s. You know, they had me as like their older cousin. So like when I used to come
Hanna-Barbera type shit.
So like I used to like show them like, well, there's the original 50s cartoon. You know, Scooby-Doo Friends.
Yeah.
Like one of Skylar's favorite movies, which is the 60-year-old, one of her favorite movies to watch when I would come to town was Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island and shit. And so
that's the best movie by far.
And so we watched Scoob. And they were like, what the fuck is this? And like when they made that Tinder joke, Skylar was just like, I know that Scooby-Doo did not just make a fucking Tinder joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
I'm like, what?
But it's not that terrible, but I get your criticism.
Disagree. But we can move on if you want.
Yeah. But, you know, it's been really cool to see kind of your evolution, you know, over the course of the past year or so. And we've gotten to become good friends and everything. We have conversations all the time, tough conversations, political conversations, religious conversations.
We've disagreed,
and we disagree
too. We disagree a lot,
and
I wouldn't
say
I wouldn't say we disagree more than we agree, but
right. But the good thing, and I feel like everyone could learn from this is we are open to hearing each other's point of views, right? And we don't get angry, we don't get hostile about anything. I think if anything, we try to kind of see why, like, you believe that certain way or I believe that certain way, and you can understand it, right? You may not agree with it, but you can understand. You be like, okay, I kind of see why you could do that, but I still think this way. And I feel like that's kind of how we always end up if we do disagree. That's fine. People can disagree. We are different.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing wrong with having a disagreement.
I've also just learned to not saying that I've ever had to do this with you or anybody else in the Metrotham group. We're all pretty good about keeping our heads, most of us, when it comes to subjects like this and stuff like that. But with me, I came from a very conservative religious family.
Yeah.
And me myself, I wouldn't consider myself a liberal, but a lot of my views are on the left side of things, and I'm an atheist. It's just right. So from a young age, it's okay, either you have to learn how to direct situations, or you're going to spend your entire life just butting your head against brick walls. Yeah, that's kind of the just aspect I took of it. So instead, when people try to argue with me, when they tell me something as if it's fact, especially religious or conservative people, I'm like, why? Explain that. Why do you think like that? I'm curious. I just try to be as human as possible with people, and also just realize that I'm not as smart as I think I am sometimes. Right. If you never listen, you never learn anything new, and that's how you become ignorant and stupid. That's very true. Knowledge is power. It's been that way since the beginning of time. If you have knowledge, you have power. So it's always good to come at something from a factual point of view, right? If there's facts, hey, it's proven that this is that and that is this, you can't argue that, right? It's a fact. This happened or this didn't happen. Those are factual things. So I feel like that's where I kind of fall. Give me the facts. I believe in facts. I'm a fact-driven person. I won't say that I'm one way or the other, but I love all people. Whether they're liberal, conservative, or in between, or whatever. I've learned as I've get older that there are some people that don't deserve that. Some people are going to try to be hostile, and they just want everyone around them to think like they think and to feel how they feel. And those people, to me, you just gotta Leave them the fuck alone until they figure out some shit on their own. And this is one of those things where I'm a little bit different, Yeah. And this may sound corny or sappy or whatever, but I truly do have hope in humanity. I feel maybe that person just needs one little nudge a certain way, and maybe they can self-correct and better themselves. I do try to do that, but when I've nudged and nudged and nudged and try to be a good influence and try to be a good person around you, you still keep doing the shitty things. Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm above a pedestal. I've made my own fucking mistakes, as we fucking know. Yeah. I'm human. I make mistakes just like everyone else, but I literally just try to live my life as a good person. That's what makes me happy. Didn't somebody make a song called We're Only Human or something like that? I'm only human after all. There's that one, and then there's the one, 'cause I'm only human. Who sings that? It's a female singer. I want to say it might be Adele. Maybe. It's one of them Adele-like people anyway. But that's so true. We're human, right? And you're not going to be perfect all the time, and that's what I especially hate about modern day cancel culture. Don't get me wrong, there are some people who've done terrible things, and when that shit gets revealed to the public, they should be blacklisted. And it's it needs to be so they've continuously done terrible things, right? Yeah. And it's been recent. Also, even though they know that that's wrong and they still continue to do it. It's got to be something if they did something 10 years ago, if
comedians, for instance.
Like they did something like 15. Like Joe Rogan's like been getting in a lot of trouble for like shit that he said like almost 20 years ago.
Right.
And it's just like, it wasn't even serious shit too. It was just like him and his comedian friends. They were all trying to say something fucked up to make each other laugh. Yeah. That's like that's the comedian mentality of things.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, you shouldn't listen to comedians if you're sensitive, right? Yeah. Like they're going to say some shit that's touchy about all groups, right? About all groups. They hit on all of them.
I've had friends that have had to explain this to in Metrotham too. Yeah. That like people I come up with and they're like, hey, what you say sometimes really offends me. Like when me and you, I'm like, yeah, because I'm jabbing you. Yeah. It's like, it's supposed to offend you a little bit, but we're friends. What you do in this situation is you jab back. It's like, it's not a bully thing, but if I like, if I give you like a little jab, say some shit, say some shit back and jab me back. Yeah. Well, because that's how I deal with things in my life. I deal with every aspect of my life with trying to be the funny guy. Yeah. I always go for a laugh.
And you can't be the funny guy anymore, I feel like. You know what I mean? The cancel culture is going hardcore after comedians right now.
I should probably, like, that's really scary for me, too, because, like, when this shit ends, I want to start doing open mics. I have shit written down, and I'm just like, dude, I have a Caitlyn Jenner bit? Yeah. Like a full 10-minute, I could talk about Caitlyn Jenner for 10 minutes.
And you would be canceled instantly, right?
And none of it is because like I'm transphobic or anything. My heart goes out for transphobic people. Right. My heart does not go out for transphobic people. You did not hear that. My heart goes out for trans people. Right. And, I have some differing opinions, but also I'm not a fucking doctor, so I'm not going to preach it to the world about, like, what I believe and everything like that. But coming from a guy with mental illness, with a guy that understands that when people learn this about you, they can look at you differently, my heart does bleed for you. Yeah. Well, I mean... But Caitlyn Jenner is a ridiculous fucking human being.
No comment. So let's steer it a little bit back towards, because we can ramble about stuff all day. That's the beauty of this, right? Yeah. And this episode we'll just open mic, right? We can talk about whatever. Yeah. So let's bring it back to the convention a little bit. Okay. Do you got any questions for me?
Yeah. All right. What, like, because for people who don't know, especially people who are in the convention scene, Chattanooga has a very negative con scene. Yeah. Because of some cons that will go unnamed on our podcast. Right. Just out of respect. Right. But we have a very negative con view on most people. Like, vendors, when you started this, vendors wouldn't do business here because they got screwed so bad by other cons in Chattanooga and everything like that. What made you say that I'm the guy that's going to put Chattanooga back on the scene for conventions?
Simply, the easy question or the easy answer to that is we're different, right?
No, I'm talking like before, before you met anyone.
That was my mentality even then. I'm going to do this differently. Like I want to be all inclusive. I've wanted to be that way from the beginning. Me and you have had this conversation. I want not, and when I say all inclusive, I don't just mean con goers, right? Yeah. All different types of con goers. I mean every human being on this planet. I want to be all inclusive.
Have something there. And
have something there for them to do.
Like you want even like the dad who's just coming to this convention because he's trying to be because his dad's interested in anime. I mean, his son's interested in anime and manga and stuff like that. And he's trying to just like entertain his son for a day and be a good dad. You want something for him to do as well.
Right. And I want to bridge the gap too. Like, how cool would it be to take this guy that's his whole life, he's raised in the South, he's country music, never read a comic book, never got into superheroes or anything like that. How cool would it be to find a connection to someone like that made them come to our show, come to Metrotham Con, and be like, wow, this isn't what I thought it was. You know, because the conventions, there's this stigma behind them. You know, oh, it's just a bunch of weirdos or a bunch of people in costume, you know, cosplayers
that don't shower and smell funny.
I'm not going to that.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what kept me away.
Right.
For everyone listening, Metrotham was the year that I worked Metrotham at our first convention was the first convention I'd ever been to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it doesn't it's not necessarily like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, there are some people that don't have deodorant that go to conventions and they smell. We've experienced that firsthand, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there's people that cosplay there, but that's not what it's all about for us. Other conventions may make it all about that and cater to just that demographic. But from get-go, from day one, I was like, how can I get that guy to come to my show?
And a thing that's going to be really cool about where we're going to be hosting, when and if we ever do go back to normal, we will.
April 30th through
That's
May
just
2nd,
me.
2021.
That's just be me being like depressingly funny. But we will eventually return to normal.
Yeah.
Like when people talk, because I'm a huge, like, I didn't study it in college or anything, but I've always been like interested in chaos theory because of Jurassic Park and the Jurassic Park books.
Yeah.
And
good books.
But like when you look into chaos theory is like, you know, pretty much like, you know, everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, everything we're going in through, we're actually like either like 5 or 10 years behind schedule by chaos theory for things that happen. Like for like a major pandemic disease, we're almost like 60 years overdue.
Yeah.
For like a widespread pandemic to happen. So it's just like everyone talks about the end of days, and I'm just like, dude, this happened before. You know, like, and I hate to be that guy, but death does happen.
It does.
But the important thing is that, you know, and I don't see enough of it happening right now, and it kind of makes me sad. Like, you kind of really don't know what to do in these situations like this, especially people in our situation. But, you know, you kind of just gotta, this is kind of the point in life where we got to get through it.
Right.
You know?
And, you know,
help each other out when we can, stuff like that.
You got to. And one thing I will say, you know, media and stuff, and I won't deviate too far from convention stuff because I want to stick with that. But media, there's so many false narratives. Right? I always got a frog in there.
Whiskey on the wrong pipe. That's the first for me. Shit.
There's so many false narratives out there, and there's so many different takes and stories that are being, you know, you don't know what's real and what's not. It's a really difficult time to form like a factual opinion or a factual belief with anything, because you can change the channel from one thing to the next and they have a completely different take on what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know what to believe.
So where do you get your news from?
So what I do, I don't just rely on CNN or Fox News or the New York Times or the Washington Post or any of that stuff. I take all of that stuff, right? And if there's video evidence, that's the most important thing. Like, video evidence tells the story. It's right there in front of you. You can see what happened. The whole video, not just a 20-second clip that had been cut to not show what happened before what happened, right?
But also, fakes and stuff are becoming such a huge thing and everything now that you can pretty much fake anything you want to on video.
Right.
At this point.
But you can, so any police, if we talk about that, like the body cams, that stuff's not fake, right? That stuff's legit. When they release the full footage of stuff like that, do me a favor, watch the whole video.
Yeah.
And then form your own opinion on what happened. Don't just take this 10-second clip or 20-second clip, oh my goodness, and freak out about it.
To me, like, I try to understand that, but like when people talk to me about that and like civilians are literally getting like almost pummeled to fucking death by riot officers, I'm like, I get what you're saying. Like, maybe these people did somehow like you know, initiate that shit, but you're talking about officers in full riot gear. Yeah. And you're telling me that they can't do anything better than beat their own citizens to a bloody pulp? You know, and this goes back to it. I'm not a person that hates police officers. I think police officers are underfunded. I believe they're undertrained for the job they have to deal with. But at the same time, when those people do something fucked up, like kill someone who's unarmed, or they overuse their power, or they get caught up in like a drug smuggling ring or a sex ring or anything like that, you signed up to be better than me. That is what you signed up to do for your job, to be better than me, and to protect me and everyone else, or everyone else around you.
But at the end of the day, they're still human beings. Right?
They're still human beings,
and they have one of the. And I'm not saying I'm pro police or not pro police. I'm
pro good police. I'll say that all day.
Yeah, I'll just be real. They're human beings, just like anybody else, right? They have families that they. There's so many police that don't go back home to their families. There's a lot of police that are killed every year due to violence. Right?
You know where cops go?
Why?
Where people call cops to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah, they're not just randomly roll up in a neighborhood. Somebody called them there for a reason, right? I mean,
sometimes they pull over people and stuff like that.
Pull over people, yeah. Right? And
but that's their job description,
right? But they don't just randomly go into a cul-de-sac and be like, "Hey, you." You know what I mean? You don't see that, really.
And that's
there's a reason they were called there. Somebody saw a suspicious vehicle, yada, 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 whatever the reason is.
Yeah, and like the thing that really pisses me off for like police officers is that the only people that seem, like especially politically, that seem to be supporting police officers, when you really look at it, they're not. Because it's conservatives really that are 100% behind. There are liberals that are like me. They're just like, I just want to get rid of the shitty cops. Right. I want my cops to be better trained, too.
Well, for one thing, you can't get rid of shitty cops because they're shitty people. You know what I mean? There's still going to be shitty cops that get by the system, right? That's going to happen because people can be shitty. Yeah. Not just cops. People in general can be shitty. Yeah. Like, people that are committing crimes that get the cops called on them are shitty. Like,
Well, some of them aren't shitty. Some of them are just put in a situation that it's either this or death. Sometimes some people steal money because they gotta get groceries for their family. Well, there are the people out there that are doing it just to feed their own means and their own selfish desires.
But how many times do you see someone getting charged for theft for stealing food to feed their families? You don't really hear of that.
You see money mostly.
You see money or material things that they don't need to survive, right? Yeah. If you're hungry, really the only things you need to survive in life are what? Food, water, and like shelter. And you don't need shelter. There's a lot of homeless people in America that don't even need like shelter.
The worst job I ever had was at Dunkin' Donuts, and I've been working there for about 6 months. And there was this homeless camp that used to live in the woods, like behind where the Dunkin' Donuts was.
I've seen stuff like that. Yeah.
And there was like 5 restaurants. There was like 5 or 6 restaurants down this little, it was Battlefield Parkway. Mm-hmm. And they would dig through the trash to get food and shit. Yeah. And it never surprised me just how heartless people were about that shit. I'm like, these people are literally digging through trash cans to eat. It's like you never see them. They're never out in our parking lot begging for change or anything like that. Right. And this fucking bitch that I worked for one night, was just like, there was like this cleaning stuff that was like literally poison to the human body. Yeah. And it came in like these 1 gallon things, and she told me just to dump it all over like the donuts and shit like that. So and I'm just like, no. For one, that's attempted murder. Yeah. And I'm not about to get charges of you, but 2, that's also really fucked up.
So one thing I will say on that, just because I've been, in business and have been in management positions, restaurants and things like that are really, the laws suck for that stuff, right? Yeah. I feel like that needs to change. So any leftover food, and any leftover food has to be disposed of. They can't give it to people. If they get sick, they can get sued, right? There's a lot of legalities that go into that. Mm-hmm. So there's so much waste in America that could feed all the homeless, most of that food's not bad. Like it could be given to homeless
I
people.
don't know
and
how
feed
true
them.
it is, but I read statistic the other day. If we like kept all the food we threw away, we'd have enough food to feed every American citizen.
Oh, that's a fact.
Like 3 meals.
I guarantee it.
It's like, dude, I understand capitalism. Like,
Mhm.
I understand like keeping things going smoothly and everything like that.
Yeah.
But the thing where like our capitalism like kind of loses its track for me is like when we like create laws like that goes against someone's demand or the people's demand. A big example would be the drug wars, mostly marijuana.
Yeah.
Time and time again, the American people said we do not mind like marijuana being either medically legal or recreational legally as long as it goes with the same laws of like alcohol.
Yeah.
But our government to kind of keep, because there's not even a good argument to be held against it anymore in my head.
Well, my argument to anything that remotely resembles socialism is I'm the kind of person that I don't want the government to control shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they control enough already as it is. So if you're wanting stuff to become legalized and be, taxed and things like, government has control of that, right? Mm-hmm. So if they want to mark the shit up, they'll mark it up. You know what I mean? If they want to end the industry, they'll end the industry. Like, if they want to raise taxes and put people out of business, they can do that. They have complete control of that. And that's kind of what socialism is giving government power. And I
mean, it's just like, dude, like how much money U.S. government money has like businesses gotten through this to like so they won't bail out. That's not how capitalism works. If something fails, it fails,
right? And
something else replaces it.
And there's been every president bails big business out, right?
It's not just Donald Trump on this one. Obama was notorious for it too.
And what's crazy is they'll give billions and billions of dollars to corporations that are already billionaires, right?
Yeah. It's just like, oh, we didn't know we were going to start selling our summer homes if we didn't get this bailout money.
Imagine if like Obama hadn't have bailed out the big car companies.
Yeah, for sure.
Tesla would be running the market right now, right?
That would be so dope too. Have you seen Teslas?
Hell yeah, they're badass, bro.
Fucking amazing. So yeah, like my car shit itself the other day, and I've been looking at cars. I'm just looking at Teslas, like God.
Yeah, there would be no like Ford or GMC.
Do you remember electric cars 5 years ago, man?
Yeah.
Remember how fucking corny those things were?
Well, the Ford ones and stuff they make are shitty, right?
Yeah.
The Volt and the Leaf and shit like that.
Here comes Elon Musk, just fucking.
Suckers got some power too, man. They're quick.
Dude, like the new ones, like the new like base ones that's gonna be sold to civilians, they go to 0 to 60 in like fucking 2 seconds.
Yeah, they're sick.
Like, what?
But we've rambled enough about politics and stuff. Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
Back to the convention stuff.
But yeah, how is this affecting us and everything like that?
As far as like the pandemic and things like that, it's affecting everybody. I feel like anybody in the entertainment industry is probably getting hit the hardest. Them and the, I guess the service industry as well have been hit pretty hard, but they're starting to open back up and stuff, right? But
which is stupid.
Yeah. But the entertainment industry, which conventions and event promoters and stuff fall into that category. Most states you can't have an event with more than 50 people at it, right? Yeah. So you can't have any event. Like
you can't have movie theaters, you can't have comedy clubs, you can't have
So it has been devastating.
Yeah, to not just us, but to everyone, even around us, right?
And I know people don't have sympathy for actors because a lot of them are millionaires and things like that, and they're well off and they're okay. But it has hurt them as well. Like there are some actors that aren't A-list actors
that aren't millionaires
that are struggling right now, just as bad as the normal Joe Blow.
That's what I love about mostly the convention scene is like you get to see. I've never seen an A-list actor at a convention, and I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that fact.
Yeah,
it's like I don't think I could handle just like even like being around most of Hollywood.
Stay tuned.
Just like you are so fucking fake.
But as far as how it's affect us and like conventions in general, so we just recently announced that we had to cancel this year, which sucks, but you guys can check out the post that we did, at Metrotham Con. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And we posted, our thoughts and how we feel on it and why we had to do it. But it's basically comes down to what I just said. We can't have an event over X number of people. And we would have hundreds of people just with our staff and vendors, right?
Yeah.
And celebrities. So,
Yeah.
You're looking at an event
We were looking at
that can be in the thousands, right?
Like we were looking at how many vendors before all the shit went down.
Oh, we had like 100 vendors, 122 vendors.
And that's actually usually like 2 or 3 people a vendor, right?
Yeah, and sometimes more.
Yeah.
Right? So that right there, you're plus with staff, you're looking at damn near, 400 people. Just in that. Just with that.
Jesus, dude.
Just with that. So you got 400 people plus your attendees, and you're in the thousands, right? So that's why we're not able to happen this year. It's just too big of an event for an indoor space, for one. So we did postpone or cancel to April 30th through May 2nd, 2021 at the Convention Center, downtown Chattanooga. It's still episode 2 of the horror. We're still keeping it horror theme. But like I said in the post, it gives us more time to prepare, more time to, add to our guest list and maybe tweak things and make things better.
Yeah. I mean, I still have a lot to learn. So yeah, It's kind of, to me, it's just like, okay, I can actually have enough time to learn everything that I need to do for the convention.
And there's so much, and I don't think people realize it. It's not just, let's call up some celebrities and some vendors and have a convention. It's not that easy.
Everybody looks at me like, especially like when I was a server and everything, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going out of town this weekend to do like a convention for Metrotham.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, so you're just gonna be drinking and smoking all day? I'm like, no, not at all. I'm gonna be shitting my pants because I'm gonna be talking to celebrities and begging them to come to our future year con for us.
Yeah, it's a year-round thing, right?
So that eventually became what I did because for some reason celebrities love talking to me.
Yeah,
at least the ones I've met. I'm just like, what the fuck is happening?
You got a cool personality, right? You're approachable. Or you can approach them. You look like you could approach somebody and not kill them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one.
But there's so much that goes into it, and I don't think most people realize, the blood, sweat, and tears that myself and you guys put into it. So that's why it's so difficult to cancel an event like that, right? Because there's so many logistical things that you got to factor and financial things you got to factor. But we're not going anywhere. We got a virtual day planned for October 24th, that Saturday that would have been our convention. And then the 25th of October 2020, we're having a vendor day.
A vendor day.
So
okay.
On location, in person, outdoor vendor day. So we'll have vendors set up, some live music, maybe a couple celebrities, local celebrities, and like cosplay contests, stuff like that. At least we're doing something. And the cool thing about that is it's free admission to everybody, right? The virtual day, the tickets are free. The vendor day, the tickets are free. And for vendors to set up, it's free. And anybody that bought tickets to the October show or any vendors that got a booth that rolls over to next year automatically. So you still get that, and you get the free virtual day and free vendor day as well. So it's kind of like we're trying to give something back. Most conventions I've noticed are charging an arm and a leg to hop on these virtual things, which is crazy, right?
I mean, that's just like what I've noticed a lot with like a lot of other conventions compared to our convention. Like, the main reason like I decided to become so involved with Metrotham is because like I just love the idea. Because like the first year we went to, like, dude, we were at Camp Jordan. It was hot. It was miserable, but everybody was having a great fucking time.
Yeah,
and it was just like, and I remember being so jealous just of like my past self. Cause like my past self would have fucking killed to go to something like Metrotham.
Yeah.
Because, when I grew up in Ringgold.
Mhm.
I claim Chattanooga as my home. If I could ever find a fucking apartment to kind of just like go halfway with me, I'll live in Chattanooga. But fuck, I've been waiting on one woman who remained unnamed for 2 fucking months on an apartment that's still empty.
The apartment game is a struggle, man.
God damn. I was just like, I just want to move out of my parents' house.
Oh man.
But the thing that used to drive me crazy, because I don't know if we've ever really talked about this side of my family, but I'm really the only person in my family that's nerdy. Like my mom likes to read, but she's not like really nerdy. Like she doesn't really get involved in like different universes and stuff like that.
Right.
And everything, like pretty much everything like nerdy that came from me came from outside influence, like stuff like Harry Potter, the Marvel universe, video games, anything like that. And like I just remember being so frustrated when I grew up in Ringgold and Chattanooga because it didn't feel like there was anything for me. Because like I like sports, but I don't want sports all the time.
Right.
I like hiking, and we live in Chattanooga, one of the best areas in the fucking country for it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just want to sit down and play video games and just like enjoy that. And I want to talk to people who are passionate about some of the video games I'm passionate about. And that's what I really liked about Metrotham.
Yeah.
It's like not only was there a bunch of cool shit to buy, I could easily have spent if I had the money, I could have easily spent over $3,000.
Yeah.
At our first year, easily.
All in Jason Douglas autographs, right?
No, not Jason. I mean, a couple. No, just one of those. I would get like
a voice recording. He could do like your voicemail recording
in like Alkiji's voice.
Yeah.
Justin cannot make it to the phone right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's my birthday gift. You want to give me a good birthday gift? Get that shit for me.
I can make it happen. But yeah, back to there's a lot that goes into it. So we've canceled. We got the virtual day, vendor day. So we're giving something back to the fans.
Yeah, the ones that are going to stay with us and everything through this. Which we that's the thing too. We have, from what I've seen, we have a pretty good fan base.
We do.
No one's giving a shit for doing what we have to do.
No. We've gone about it the right way too. So we tried to stay optimistic, right? We didn't want to just cancel immediately, right? Because what if we canceled immediately and a miracle, like everything gets better, right? You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot and do that.
And I was one of those people. I'll go ahead and say, like, when it was coming down to because you have a team of people now. You have like a leadership team, and I still kind of feel like I stuck myself through that door, and I'm kind of just like in the back, like looking at everything, and just like acting like I'm there. But I was one of the people that said we should wait. But when it got to be like 2 months away, I was just like, all right, again, because we're handling the shit very poorly compared to other countries. Yeah. Japan, which was one of like the ground zero spots, they barely have anything now of it and everything. And that's because they did everything they needed to do.
Right. To mitigate.
I just want to slap anti-maskers right in the fucking face, dude. It's like my life could be normal if you dumb fucks weren't around.
Right.
I'm like, just wear the mask.
And that all that other stuff I talked about too is making sure that celebrities are available for the new dates and vendors can make it to the new dates, and there's a lot that goes into it. And making sure that our funds, so the convention center, we pay that in advance. It's paid for, right? When vendors pay for their booth spot, that money goes directly to the convention center. I pay it directly to the convention center to pay for our location. That's the most important thing. You got to have a location to host it, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have that,
location was dope.
Yeah, and we got the same location for next year, right? Yeah. So, and that's non-refundable. So that's something where it's tough because you want to do right by everybody and make everybody happy, or as happy as they can be. So I feel like we've done a pretty good job at doing that, by offering other options and having a virtual day and a free vendor day. That way it keeps us relevant as well. Like
it also shows that we do care about our fans too.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the safety of everybody was the most important thing.
Because my hope was like eventually we could put it on a con and it might be a little dangerous, but it wouldn't be as dangerous. And then it got closer and closer, and it's just like, dude, this shit just isn't changing.
It's not getting much better, especially here in Chattanooga, right?
Yeah.
So
Sadly, people won't wear their goddamn masks.
and that's where we're at. So that's why we had to do what we had to do. But we got a lot of cool stuff planned, man. The Metrotham Uncensored is one of them. We're going to bring quality content to you guys. Hodgkins is going to do his thing with Uncensored, and
I do have like plans to do stuff like when we get further down the line and get like a bigger fan following. Maybe on some of the longer episodes, I'll actually respond to some hate mail.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
stuff like
fun.
that. Yeah.
We got our live show, Metrotham Con Live. That's on Facebook.
I'm interviewing Dustin and Brian, and I'm supposed to be interviewing all three of you at some point. That was actually supposed to be the first episode to all the listeners, but life is fucking crazy for everybody. One of us has a newborn baby. One of us has 2 babies.
Yeah.
The other one's about to get married, and the other one's, just can't catch a fucking break.
But we got the live show that you guys can tune into. It's every Monday at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
We got new hosts.
New hosts.
That's exciting.
You'll sometimes see me on there, but mostly it's going to be them. I actually really like their chemistry.
Girl power, man.
Yeah.
We got the Magical Miss Emmy.
It's also like to praise them on the show. Like whenever I usually see something that's girl based, it usually feels like really, really corny to me. With them, no, it feels natural.
Yeah.
They're all 3 fucking funny. Then, in my opinion,
So they all have their good qualities that will mesh well. So we got the Magical Miss Emmy still on there.
Yeah.
We've got Lieris and we've got Michaela.
I got kicked off for my for my supplement thing that came along.
Yeah. And
that's a joke. I'm gonna be on the show sometimes.
Right.
We've
all done the show at some point in time.
What was your favorite show?
My favorite shows are the on location ones, man. Not because I've gotten to do almost all of those myself.
Oh, dude, that was like the one time.
They're always fun.
That was the one time during this entire thing where I got so pissed off at you, Brian, and Dustin.
Yeah.
Because like the week before, y'all were like, okay, you're gonna make a top 5 Boruto list, so you need to watch Boruto, and I'm like, I fucking hate Boruto. and it's grown on me a little bit now, but I watched a week's worth of Boruto, came up with a list, came up with like facts to talk about like why they're my favorite character and everything like that. It's like, oh yeah, scratch Boruto, you're actually interviewing that person and the show starts in 5 minutes. And I was like, I could fucking strangle each and every one of you right now.
But that's the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
Like that's with anything in like showbiz. Not saying that we're big time showbiz people, but that's with anything. When it comes to stuff like this,
you have to be willing to adapt to change for sure.
Got to. Things will change kind of on the fly. And
I felt because like that was the first time we interviewed Lieris. First time we interviewed Lieris was at that show
at Game On.
And me and her even talked about it. It's like, yeah, you seem really pissed off the last time I saw you. I was just like, that's a whole fucking story that we get into on some other point. And she was just like, what do you mean? It was like, let's put it this way. I had to be one of the people interviewing of you, and I didn't know you existed until about 2 minutes before screen time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so we'll throw curveballs every once in a while.
Yeah.
So we got the live show every Monday at 8 p.m. Via Facebook. That's gonna be great. We've worked a lot on the production. Everything that we do, we're upping the production value on it.
I'm actually about to hand you guys over some skits for that show.
Nice.
I think like 10 of them.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got our gaming channel tomorrow. We're having a gaming day. It's where we're going to record a lot of footage.
Yeah, I'll be showing up to that, but toward the later part of it because boy's got to make his paper.
Yeah. So we got the gaming channel. We've got Metrotham tonight. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's Dustin and Brian's new gig. Basically, it's like the Jimmy Fallon show, but nerdy.
Yeah.
So we have
kind of like what
celebrity
this
guests.
is going to be.
Yeah.
Kind of like how this is the Joe Rogan Experience, but nerdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll have, they'll be suited and booted and do celebrity
this guy
interviews.
probably can't kick the majority of the world's ass. The guy right now can't kick.
So we're working real hard on that as far as doing celebrity interviews and working on comedy sketches.
Oh yeah, I got a couple of them that I'm doing that I'm researching right now. Can't wait for some of them.
Dude, some of the comedy sketches we talked about. So Wayne's World's the first one. I'll go ahead and talk about that. But
I had an idea for a fucking. Oh my god, my mind just went blank. Fucking Denzel Washington.
some training day type.
Kevin Smith, not Kevin Smith. Kevin Spacey, Brad Pitt. 7? Yeah. Like I have a 7 bit that I'm writing out for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be really funny.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of funny stuff. It's gonna be hilarious.
I mean, we have like a lot of funny people that are gonna be writing on this.
Yeah.
Kind of, and like and not just like it's our job to. It's just like we want to do it because it's a fun thing to do.
It's fun and it gives the fans content, right? It keeps us relevant for one. That's one reason to do it, but it's fun and it brings a lot of hilarious stuff to our fan base.
Yeah, Dustin's the perfect guy for it.
Yeah.
Me and him got in a roast battle, and I got a little too real for him.
Those roast battles can be fun.
Like he was talking about his hair compared to my hair, how long it is and how glorious it is, and I was just like, bitch, you look like Jesus if you discovered fast food.
Jesus needs to leave McDonald's alone, huh? So yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline, and then next year, hopefully we're back to normal and we'll do the COVID-19 guidelines. You guys can find those on the website at MetrothamCon.com. You can see everything that we're planning to do to keep everybody safe for next year. We're still going to do it next year, regardless of where, COVID could be magically gone, but we're still going to do that stuff just to be safe, right? Yeah. Just to be safe, at least for the time being, right? Until the whole world gets better as a whole, and we'll be hopeful that happens.
Oh man, I'm so mad. Like if COVID wasn't going on, I would have just gotten back from Japan like a month ago.
Yeah. I would have been at Dragon Con right now.
Yeah, like we talked about this because I might have been in Japan at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was either the last couple months, and it's just like, god damn it. It's just like as soon as a brother gets some money, fuck.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Need that stimulus check to come through.
Like, yeah, another one. Yeah, dude, my car fucking blew its transmission and engine today. Yeah. I mean, no, not today, like a week ago.
Right.
Simultaneously, at the same time. When the fuck does that happen?
2020. Well, that's when that happens.
Fuck this year, dude.
That's when this happens.
Took away my favorite car. Like, not even at the end of it.
Yeah, and not to get too somber on this show, but we've lost a lot of people too this year so far. Hell, it got started, and you were who I was right beside when I found out the news on this. Kobe Bryant died in January. We were at Chattacon, and we're sitting there, and I'm like,
and we already had a shitty weekend leading up to this.
I'm like, dude, this can't be real. There's no way this is real.
And then I called my buddy.
Oh.
And I called Alec, remember? Because I was like, dude, my friend would know for sure if this is fake or not. So I called my buddy Alec up, and I was just like, dude, is Kobe Bryant really dead? And he was just like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He just died.
Dude, that was the start of 2020, right? It's like, oh, shit, here we go. And then, COVID right after that. And here recently, Norm Spencer, the voice of Cyclops from X-Men, the animated series, died. And we've got such a good relationship with all those folks, man. They're amazing people, and that really hit me in the ticker.
Heart goes out to the family, and everything like that. Heart goes out to the family. Heart goes out, everybody that had the pleasure of working with them.
Yeah,
because you actually talked to Kyle a little bit about him and everything.
Yeah,
apparently he was a really good guy.
Yeah, he was a good dude. Yeah, and then of course Chadwick Boseman, just recently. That was tough.
Out of fucking nowhere, man.
Yeah. He had been battling it, for years, apparently. So
no one at Marvel knew about it,
right? Which is crazy, because there were images of him out there, like looking like really frail and sick. Like there's got to be something wrong. But most people dismissed it as, oh, maybe it's for a movie role or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he looked really frail, like not movie role frail, like sick frail.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, that was tough. And if you guys caught the live show, this past Monday, we did a little tribute to Norm and Chadwick. So that was pretty cool. But our hopes and dreams for Metrotham Con are to just keep pumping out content and bringing a good show with good guests and good content for the whole weekend. I've talked to you about it. I want it to be kind of like an entertainment thing, and I used this analogy before. So WWF, but prior to WWE, was just about wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Now it's WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. Like, so they've got movies and music videos and TV shows. They're doing all kinds of different stuff. And that's kind of my vision for Metrotham, right?
Okay, can we do that but be good?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. They're doing something right, though, because,
I mean, they got millions of viewers,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you've seen the South Park episode.
Yeah.
They took his job.
Yeah. But basically, we want to bring all kinds of entertainment, from our live shows to our social media stuff, to our conventions, which will have musical guests that aren't typically at conventions. We talked about this before. I want to bring in some.
I mean, that's the thing. Like me and you talked about it before. Like, everybody has such a strict limit on like what's nerdy and like what's not nerdy.
Right.
If you know a lot about something, you're nerding out over that subject. If you know a lot about basketball, you're a basketball nerd.
Yeah.
If you know a lot about football, you're a football nerd.
Right.
Everybody's a nerd about something.
How many conventions?
If you can quote the Bible, you're a Jesus nerd.
Right. How many conventions do you know of that hosts like a huge Madden tournament? You don't really hear of that, really. It's always fighting games, like Dragon Ball FighterZ has been popular,
or
Smash Bros.
Brothers.
I want to do Madden tournaments. Like I want to,
That'd be cool. I wouldn't participate. Not just, I don't like sports games, but
right. But there are a lot,
there are a lot of people
that
who like
do.
sports games.
So why not have
not
something
involve
for them to do, and
Yeah.
maybe they'll come and be like, "Damn, this game's dope."
It's it's again like what you said about being all inclusive. We want to involve everybody,
right?
Just because it's not something that me and you would be into. Just can we not do a furry hour, please? Please.
We'll have furry content.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man, it's coming. But one thing
furries and clowns, they're the bane of my existence.
And to get back to like your original question of Chattanooga and trying to make Chattanooga like put it on the map, so to speak. Chattanooga has had that black eye for a while, and that was probably our biggest hurdle, and still is somewhat of a hurdle, but we've kind of overcome it a little bit. I'm
sure I've had like people that they heard that I'm a convention from Chattanooga, and at first they don't want to talk to me, but then they hear Metrotham.
They're like, "Oh, what's that? That's something new, right?"
Yeah.
So, and then that's kind of like we have to argue our point of like, hey, we're something new, we're something different. We take care of everybody. Like our vendors are super important to us, our celebrities are super important, our staff, everybody's so important.
I lied to a certain vendor because he was talking about how like all the heads, like all the money just goes to the heads for some of the Chattanooga based conventions, and like vendors or actors won't even see their splits sometime, and it's just like, yeah, we're not about that.
No.
He goes like, well, what makes you say that? It's like, because I'm one of the second heads and I'm not even getting paid for this. This is just something I enjoy doing.
Right. And see, that's a thing too. So I'm not in it for money.
Yeah.
Would I love to get to a point to where
we're getting paid for this, we can be a little sustainable,
or to where I can support my family just doing this so I can focus on this 100%? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But does that mean I'm going to go out and buy a Mercedes? No.
Absolutely not.
If I can keep what I have now, I will put every other dime back into it, right?
All right. I'm going to write down a question. Finish that thought.
I will put every ounce, and I said it in the video, I would keep doing this until the day I die, even if we broke even every year. If we put on a dope ass show and I broke even and it allows us to continue to keep putting on a show every year, I would do it forever. Just to see the joy and the camaraderie that comes with it. Because it's like, I put it this way.
Speaking of breaking even, how close did we come to making a profit or breaking even with our first year.
We took a little bit of a hit our first year. Yeah.
But that's with every first year.
I mean, that's with a lot of conventions that are 5 or 10 years in, they'd still take hits, right?
Yeah.
But we're ever adapting and ever growing. So, and one thing that helps us is there's not a founder or a chair that's just wants to line his pockets, right? I want to put it all back into it.
I mean, like, one thing that I've noticed, because, with being, like, so well known through, like, Metrotham, it's actually gotten me into, like, to meet, like, the other runners of, like, other cons and everything like that. And the thing that I can say about our con, like, our heads that's different from other conventions heads is, like, we all have different perspective,
right?
Like, we all have different interests, we all have different motives.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Metrotham, we use that to our advantage, where most cons, that would be crippling to them.
Yeah.
Because they can't stand being around people who don't think and act like they do.
Well, and it starts with, so I'm receptive to all that, right?
Yeah.
I want people that can challenge me. I want people that can give me good, solid advice, whether I use it or not, right? You know what I mean? I want you guys to speak up. I want you guys to be like, hey, Mark, why don't we try this? Maybe this will work better. Okay, cool. We'll try anything.
I mean, yeah, this just started out as an idea I had.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, I wouldn't mind doing my own podcast.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought I was getting fired from the fucking stream that night. I was just like, I've talked too much shit about Scoob. I'm getting fired right now. Apparently, we're really good friends with people at Scoob. That's what I'm gathering.
No. But, it was just, this,
but no, like,
this is more your avenue.
Yeah, this is more my avenue. I'd be happier doing like something like this full time. Yeah. But also, I get to do the show sometimes, if the girls don't beat me up first. I don't know if you once caught those pictures, but the one girl hit me in the head with a hammer.
Yeah, the Harley mallet.
Yeah, that's why I keep forgetting her name.
Yeah, Michaela. Yeah, but yeah, that show's gonna be great. But we want to put Chattanooga on the map, be something different, bring all kinds of different entertainment to everybody, to all walks of life, not just nerdy people. We want everybody to be included. And one thing that I've noticed that we will do different, and we're going to do a lot of things different, and we've had conversations about it. One thing I feel like gives conventions a bad visual stigma is cosplay. I love cosplay. Cosplay is going to be a huge part of our convention, a la $1,000 cash prize for the winner of the cosplay contest, right? Cash prize. Like, you can go pay your rent and car payment with that. You're not getting like Metrotham Con bucks or gift certificate.
$1,000
cash, right?
In your hand.
Yeah.
For looking like Kakashi.
Right. And
not 6ix9ine. We're talking about Kakashi Sensei from Naruto.
Yeah.
Kakashi 6ix9ine, you can fuck right on off.
Yeah. But you see a lot of conventions advertise cosplay hardcore. What does that do? Most people, I don't know, but I've thought about it. What it does is all these other normal people, quote unquote, will be like, look at all these adults dressed up, in costumes. I ain't going to that.
Cool.
So what do they think it is?
I don't go to the thing where you put face paint on and go to football games either. So
right.
It's fine.
What do they think this is? Halloween? Right. What they don't get, we need to get them past that, right?
Yeah.
We need to get away from the adults in costumes. That's not what it's all about, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe at some conventions it is. Ours, it is not going to be all about that. There's going to be something truly for everyone. We need to get them past that to where they come, to where we offer something, whether it be one of their favorite hip-hop artists from the 80s is going to be there, and that gets them there on a Saturday.
Oh, my God.
And
we got Will Smith one year.
And they come just for that.
China would shut the fuck down.
Yeah. And they come just for that. We've got them at that point. Mm-hmm. Because then we're
showing that we're trying to get everybody in on this shit.
And then they'll see like, oh, wow. This isn't just people in costumes. There's a lot more here. Like there's vendors that are selling cool stuff that my kids would love. Shit that I would love. I love Game of Thrones. There's so many people who shun nerdiness that are actually nerdy themselves.
They just don't know it.
They just don't know it.
It's like, shit, I love RoboCop too. And it's just like, motherfucker. Yeah. It's just like, that's what we've been talking about this entire time.
If you watch Game of Thrones or Stranger Things or anything like that, there's a connection there, right?
Yeah.
And we need to make that connection with everyone.
Dude, I'm a huge stand-up comedian nerd. Like, I know my stand-up, man.
Yeah.
And, like, other things, like, I'm really into Terminator, really into Alien, really into, like, pretty much every, like, 80s, 70s sci-fi thing I'm pretty much fucking into.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where, you know, if we got, I'm trying to think of one, let's say like a 90s R&B group. Let me think of one, like 112 or
D12?
or Jagged Edge or something like that.
You mean D12?
No, 112. That did Peaches and Cream.
But you know who I'm talking about.
I know
right?
who you're talking about, yeah.
Go to sleep, bitch.
Yeah. But if we get somebody like that, I'm going to promote the shit out of that on news and radio, right? To normal folk.
Yeah.
The nerdy people are already going to come to a convention because they love cosplay and comic books and gaming.
Video games.
You know, they're already going to come.
After parties.
Right, they're already going to come.
Dude, the after party for our first year, that shit was fucking insane.
They were pretty sick, weren't
Yeah.
they? They were fun.
What was that shit? Unicorn Tears?
Unicorn Tears,
oh
yeah.
my god, dude.
Christina, shout out. Those are great. We'll see you next
Were those
year.
tequila or vodka?
I have no clue.
Good Lord.
I drank a lot of them.
I drank 3 of them and I was fucked up. Like, just like, dude, just like, not to the point where it looks like I'm getting my ass kicked by a ghost, but it's definitely looks like I'm getting some body work, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, we'll wrap all that up in a nice bow. Just Metrotham Con's different.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see it in our staff. Like, our staff is so, and that's why I love you guys so much. You guys, you do all this stuff. I ask a lot of you, right?
I mean, I feel the same about, like, the staff, especially with, like, everyone that, like, because, like, I have sometimes when I'm doing stuff like the podcast or I'm doing stuff like the live stream or like I'm becoming the face of Metrotham, I'm having like something syndrome, like faker syndrome or something like that.
Yeah.
And everyone, especially the ones with a lot of knowledge, like you, Kat, April, Emmy, Brian, Dustin, I could go on and on naming, have all just like, you know, just like, this is what you need to do, this is what this is what that is. Like, Emmy's favorite thing is just telling me about con cultures, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
So, we want to break the mold of con culture a little bit,
yeah,
right? Because we do want to be different.
Yeah, for sure. We want everyone to feel safe at our con.
Yeah, most definitely. That, you know, that's probably one of the most important.
The last episode I was on, they, you know, especially with all 3 of them being female cosplayers, just like, you know, cosplay is not consent, stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
we need to preach that. We're going to preach that heavily at this con.
I'll throw somebody's ass out with a quickness. Like,
yeah.
You see Mark over here with somebody tossing them out the door like that.
You have kids. You know, you have 3 daughters.
Yes.
2 daughters.
3 daughters.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't play that shit. You know what I mean? So we won't put up with any of that stuff. You know. Yeah, there's just no tolerance for things like that, and you know, we can't guarantee it'll be 100% safe because things happen
happen behind closed doors,
that.
Man.
But
you know, we're gonna be within walking distance of 4 different hotels and shit.
Yep, and no,
but if you come up to any of our staff and say like, "Hey, I'm in trouble. I think this person's really creeping me out."
Yeah, we're on that shit.
We'll be there to help you out. You know,
you'll see a flock of Metrotham Con crew like running up. What's going on? You know, because we had an incident similar to that. You know, last year, where one of our guests lost his bag, and everybody just kind of like came together, like, boom, let's find this shit.
Scoped. I want to say almost all of East Ridge got scoped after that shit, man. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, just know that, you know,
vendors we're like, if you walk away, we're like on your shit to make sure it doesn't get stolen.
No.
Like, that was like one of my jobs last year when like one of the music shows was going on, was just like walking through all the vendor area and make sure no fucking person was trying to steal like a sword replica or something.
Yeah. So like, you know, we're gonna make for sure you have fun and that it's safe.
It's safe, you know,
for everybody.
we're going to be like family friendly, but like I think it's like Cat's thing is like after 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like
The freaks come out at night.
the freaks come out at night a little bit.
No, it's not crazy.
But take the real freaky shit to your hotel rooms for real.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink you some unicorn tears at the after party and go to your room at the Marriott. Yeah. It's connected. It's right there.
Invite people you want to invite. We are no way involved in that shit.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief of what rumor I started, we are not going to be having a whorehouse at Metrotham Con. Oh, dude, I still can't believe I did that.
Yeah, that was terrible. Prepare for trouble. Make it
double. Hodgkins about to call a whorehouse a whorehouse.
But yeah. That's kind of what we got. You got any other questions for me? Any hard hitting stuff?
Not any hard hitting stuff, but I think that's a pretty good one to end it on. I mean, it's not like it's going to be our last one.
Yeah.
We'll probably have a couple of these.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I got some stuff that we can talk about next time. But yeah, like we said at the beginning, this was kind of just something to get like our gears rolling. Well, my gears rolling to see how I would do these things.
Mm-hmm.
So final question to you, boss man.
Yeah,
how did I do with the first podcast?
It was great. We had some good interaction. This was a fun one where we just kind of talked about all kinds of stuff, right? We talked about DC, we talked about Marvel, politics, religion a little bit. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. And that's I
want
beauty.
all my viewers to be out there to know, like I said in the beginning, that like I consider myself a liberal. I consider myself an atheist. I don't find people dumb that hold opposite beliefs of me. Yeah. So you never have to worry about that listening to this show. I'm going to listen to what people have to say. I'm going to be respectful if they can. But if for some reason on the show one time I get a flat earther and he asks me how I feel about flat earth, I'm going to say it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of. And we settled the shit literally 1,000 years ago. So yeah, let's move on. Right. But other than that, no, I'll be completely respectful of guests that I have on here. But I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be fun with them. Yeah. So like,
and that's kind of, we talked about the vision for it. We want it to be uncensored. You ask all the hard-hitting questions, get personal with people. If you want to go to politics and stuff like that, fine. As long as that person's open to that stuff. Yeah. There's nothing that's off limits. And you guys will get to know a lot about myself throughout this process, a lot about Hodgkins, Brian, Dustin, all of our staff. Celebrity guests you'll get to know.
Anybody listening that might be a future guest on the podcast, I do not mind if you ask me questions, and nothing is off limits for me. Right. So
same here. I may not wholeheartedly or completely answer your question, but I'll answer your question.
Me, I don't give a shit. Yeah.
I need to stay a little bit neutral.
Yeah, I understand like where you're coming from, but like I'm the guy of Uncensored, so I need to be the wild card, the wild one of sorts.
Yeah, and that's what we need. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a lot of fun.
I think it is too.
Like I said, we had some good dialogue back and forth. If you guys liked what you hear,
leave comments. Be sure to leave some hate mail too, because I will be reading some of that off in the future.
Be sure to tune in.
Some episodes might just be me reading off hate mail.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Be like, hey, fuck you. No.
You guys can find us at Podbean.
For right now.
Yeah, that's where we'll be doing all of our uploading.
Coming to Spotify soon. No, I'm just kidding. We have not been in any talks about Spotify.
Podbean goes to Spotify too.
What?
So,
so we're on Spotify?
If you host to Podbean, it can go to Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So we might be on the list.
Yeah.
Are we? Or
we will be.
It's a possibility.
No, we will be.
Oh, we will be. Okay, nice.
So
I should know this shit.
Be on the lookout for more episodes of Metrotham Uncensored with Justin Hodgkins.
Yes, please come and listen.
They're only going to get better and better as we go. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me as like your first guest on the show.
Oh, dude, thanks for the opportunity, man.
Yeah, no problem. And we look forward to seeing you guys at future events. Go to that virtual con. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got some cool guests we're about to announce. Vendor Day, come show up, support your local vendors.
Absolutely.
They're in a tough time right now. So
absolutely.
And then next year, come out to Metrotham Con episode 2.
Horror.
Oh, the horror.
It's just like, I can't wait until me, you, and Dustin are on. That might be like a 5-hour podcast. Yeah. Man. Like, we're gonna do that one early today because it might go late at night.
Yeah.
How long have we been doing that? Fucking 8 hours. Jesus Christ.
And that's the end.
That's the
Your
end.
classically trained Mark signing off.
Justin Hodgkins. Love you guys. Mwah.
Peace.